Another week in the books. Reminder that all content warnings are with the write-up on my website. First on the list, I finished off The Book Eaters. I had read the first half of this one last week, and as I said then, I really need more female protagonists in my life that aren't young girls with no responsibilities or anyone to answer to. Don't get me wrong, I love a morally gray stabby character as much as the next girl does, but sometimes I want something a little bit different, and the complexity and nuance that having a child to care for during an adventure brings is really missing from my life more often. I thought that this concept of a book eater species was incredibly innovative. It was a really fun way to explore how we are shaped by the stories we are fed and the ones that we choose to consume and seek out. The synopsis will tell you that the primary theme through this book is how far we're willing to go for the ones that we love. And while it's definitely there, I want to remark that the category of the ones we love ends up including the main character herself. The ones we love should include ourselves and how far we're willing to go to preserve that too. My second book of the week was Trial of Bronze and Blood. This one is going to be coming out on April 15th. I want to give a big thank you to the Nerd Fam for the advanced reader copy of the ebook. This one is a high fantasy romance with a strong gladiator theme to it. The historical gladiator trials that many of us are fascinated by are brought to life in a whole new way in this one. The characters are lovable and relatable. The setting is absolutely gorgeous and incredibly vivid. You can practically feel the air on your skin. I will say that I was expecting more fantastical elements to come in. There are definitely some here, but you see them very little in this first book. I am hoping those parts will get a little bit more emphasis in the second book. I am expecting them to, but it felt a lot to me like it would have only taken a few tweaks for this to become a historical fiction instead of a fantasy. If I had set my expectations a little bit differently, I probably would have had a greater appreciation for that and not been left wanting a little bit in the end. There is a very good chance I will be picking up the next one and ultimately more satisfied with that, but I did still like this one, and if you're into that kind of theme, I would absolutely go for it. The third book of the week, I picked up Water Moon from my local library. It was actually back at the beginning of February when I got a message from a friend saying that they had just finished this one and I needed to read it too because they loved it. I put it on my library holds immediately, and it took until this week to come in because a lot of people are seeking this one right now. I'm starting to see why. I've only just gotten the premise, and funnily enough, I was sitting in a ramen restaurant when I started reading it. Already, I'm really liking these characters. I like where it's going. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I think I'm going to have very good news about it next week. And yes, I was planning on reading the fourth book of the Fae Isles series this week. I typically don't read series back to back this fast, and I was starting to burn myself out. It is a book that I do think I'll be coming back to later, but reading them too fast is making me not appreciate them the way that I might otherwise. As always, there is a longer write-up of all of this available on my website at writing.hallidaynelson.com. I want to hear what you are reading too. It doesn't matter if my TBR is 3 times as tall as I am. I'm going to let it keep growing. And so I want to know what you're reading and having fun with. Happy reading.